All right, welcome back to the PigSkin podcast. This is episode 7, I believe. Again, at this point, you should probably know who we are. If you did forget, my name is Dalton. This is Sebastian. Danny Sunsman, you never replied to my tweet, man. I'm rocking the shirt, bro. You got to be on the pod. I know we don't mean shit yet, but you got to be on the pod, brother. So we're actually going to start this episode off a little bit unconventional. We call it the Pigskin Podcast, but obviously football is only, 8 months out of, or yeah, about 8 months out of the year if you count February and August. So we're going to talk about other things during the off season, and we will still talk on football and stuff like that, especially draft season and early free agency. But we're going to start this off. We're big baseball fans as well. It's my second favorite sport. I would assume probably yours as well. But we're going to touch on our thoughts on this baseball season and open it up for Game 1 of the World Series, which is tomorrow night in Globe Life Field. First pitch about 7 o'clock on Fox. I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to Sebastian, man. What are you thinking about this season?
So this season's been crazy for baseball because, if you told me that I needed to put a future on a baseball team to, start the season, I probably would have put it on the Phillies to make the World Series just based on, what happened last year. And, the city of Philadelphia had so much hope. That's actually, you know what? Before I get into that, I feel really bad for Phillies fans. If you're just a fan of, Philly sports, you know how awful that has to feel with the Eagles in the Super Bowl, the 76ers, and now the Phillies. You know how much combined Trey Turner and Bryce Harper were paid? Wasn't it $800 million? Or am I just making that up?
You might be making that up, but it's a fuck ton of money.
Yeah. They were 0 for 8. That's probably, I'm thinking of Castellanos too. They were 0 for 14, their big hitters were 0 for 14 in the Game 7.
All I have to say, I know Schwarber was hitting bombs. I don't know what he did in Game 7, but that dude in the playoffs is money.
Yeah, and he's got Game 7 experience. You remember the Cubs?
Mm-hmm.
He has Game 7 experience. I think he hit one. I think he was 1 for 4 in hitting.
Something. I don't know. He's playoff,
yeah. Well,
prime, though.
He didn't really do much in Game 7, unfortunately. But yeah, Phillies fans, the bank was loud. Honestly, if I can go to any playoff baseball game, it'd definitely be at the bank. Wrigley Field was awesome when I went to go and visit, but I would definitely love to go to the bank sometime to watch a baseball game. Phillies fans Phillies fans just do it different, and it was really sad, and it was kind of depressing to watch the bank just stay quiet in the 9th inning because you almost had that loss of hope. Castellanos was awful that game. I felt really bad for Phillies fans because he should have at least hit one bomber.
But that's because no one said anything racist or died or there wasn't anything bad that happened. Yeah, it was a calm night around the States.
Yeah, you didn't have to check on your loved ones or anybody. So
I wonder where he was at on 9/11. Was he did he just hit 4 grand slams in kickball in PE that day?
I think so.
Probably.
Right into left field. But yeah, no, the Diamondbacks, they played well. The pitching staff was good. They had a rookie out there. I guess he's their ace. He's got to be. If he's not their ace, but to me, he looked like it. He only let up 2 runs, and that was in the beginning. But I thought he played well. Corbin Corral, who was 0 for 18 in the playoffs, was probably the best baseball player I've ever seen play in Game 7. He was unbelievable. He's a lot of fun to watch. I hope he continues this streak in the World Series.
Yeah, no. I didn't watch a whole lot of the World Series. Or not the World Series. Hadn't started yet. I didn't watch a whole lot of baseball this season. The Cubs are pretty ass, so they never really get thrown on TV, so it's kind of hard to keep up with them. Soon, they will turn it around. Kate Horton, Pete Armstrong, Nico Horner, and the boys are going to turn it around. But, no, I definitely kept up with postseason baseball. It's the best time to watch baseball during the postseason, especially if it's middle of the week. You're waiting on football to start. You just want to throw something on the TV while you're doing homework, doing the dishes or something like that because it's good baseball. That's the best baseball you'll ever get is postseason baseball. And so
just listen to it in the background and watch it.
Well, yeah. You definitely I have it on. It's like having golf on the TV. You're not gonna fucking watch it, but you'll pay attention audibly, I guess.
Well, Ryder Cup, I'll watch it.
Yeah, you're a nerd though.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, I love you, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Who do you think wins though? Who do you think it's Diamondbacks and the Rangers, man?
Yeah, I know. I feel like it would have been better for baseball if the Phillies were in. I think it's fantastic for baseball that the Astros are out because they've been the past like 3 years, and
Fuck the Astros.
oh,
Fuck the Astros.
we'll get to that later, but probably the Rangers. I would think. I live in Texas. I don't need to be around a bunch of depressed like fans of like Dallas. That's where like most of my friends live, are in Dallas.
Yeah.
They'll be, and they're not going to want to go out and do anything. I'm also probably just exaggerating that a little bit, but yeah, probably the Rangers. They spent like $230 million in the offseason to build that team. They looked good in the beginning. DeGrom gets hurt, has to have Tommy John surgery, and they still find a way to win. Dallas Garcia, he's a man. They were already up like 10-3, and he just hits a homer, just say, fuck it, I'm just gonna kill you.
The Rangers are so good, man. I mean, they built that team, like you said. They I wouldn't necessarily say bought their way, but they spent a lot of money in the offseason. So, and they didn't even get to use DeGrom for much of it. So I mean, it's hats off to them because everything kind of looked dead in the water when DeGrom went out. I mean, you just kind of think that take one of the best pitchers in baseball off that team, and you're like, yeah, they're still good, but they're not the same. But I do think.
Want to know an interesting stat?
What's up?
So, mid-season in 2001, a pitcher for the Arizona Diamondbacks threw a pitch, and it murdered a bird. Do you remember that?
I do remember that very vividly.
Bird. Same thing happened this season. You know what the correlation between both of those Diamondbacks teams are? They both made it to the World Series. So maybe that's how the World Series every year is. They just need to find like a pigeon that they throw out in the field and strike it.
Oh, man.
That's like a ritual,
Imagine. Yeah, it could be. I mean, some tribes, indoor teams are, they eat people, and some teams kill birds, and
some teams videotape games.
No, they don't videotape them. They hire people to go videotape them.
We'll get into that later, but yeah, team matchup. I mean, very unconventional for the sport, but I like my chances with the Rangers. But if Arizona wins, hey, good for them.
It'd be fun to see them win, but also it'd be very fun to see the Rangers win. Obviously, they haven't been since, 2011, 2012, when Josh Hamilton and Adrian Beltre and all them guys went together, and it's pretty depressing for a young Rangers fan at the time before he found himself in the heart of Chicago. But not that I'm from Chicago. I've been, and Wrigley's fucking amazing, but so's the fucking food. The food in Chicago. But anyways, no, I do think Texas is gonna win. Only time I'll ever really say that, I think. But I think I'd also probably prefer the Rangers to win because I enjoy them. I think they're a fun team. It'd be cool to see them do it. So I'm going to roll with the Rangers. I'm going to go Rangers in 6.
Okay. I hope there's a game 7, so I'm going to go Rangers in 7.
Yeah. Game 7s are always fun.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a downer. So anyways.
Controversy.
A lot of controversy, right? So moving on, we're going to go ahead and just like we start off every week, or I guess every preview episode. This is a college football week 9. Damn, bro, we're already at week 9. Isn't that fucking insane? Preview and a NFL week 8 preview. So
this is when football gets nasty. Like this is when weather gets worse. It's like the perfect football weather. A lot of people say like 60 degrees. I like football when it's like 40 degrees outside and it's just raining, and then like it just looks really bad. It's bad.
You remember that 49ers game from like 2 years back? I think it was like 49ers Browns or some shit like that. No, it wasn't the Browns. Maybe it was Seattle. I don't remember. But it was like rainy and sloppy, and it was like a 10-3. No, it was 49ers Bears because the Bears won that game with Justin Fields. I remember that.
The season, that was the most random time for it to rain in Chicago.
Yeah.
Early in the season, and it was like 60 degrees, and the field was just absolutely like atrocious. And that was when Trey Lance was playing, and he had never seen weather like that before. Maybe he has. I don't know. I'm just making that up. But the Bears did win that game, so let's not forget that.
Bears did win that game. Justin Fields that was like the coming of Justin Fields. He went very soon. He left very soon, but he's stayed around. But anyways, so we'll kick it off. First game we're going to touch on. Big noon kickoff. Oklahoma travels up to Kansas to defend their still perfect record. 38 degrees, so it's going to be cold. Might be some rain, might be some snow. I was kind of looking at not the AccuWeather report. I was looking at what old Oklahoma City News 9 thinks with Daddy David Payne. See what they think. But likely rain, possibly some snow up in Lawrence this weekend. Again, Oklahoma is 7-0. Kansas 5-2. Still no Jalen Daniels. But if you do remember, 2 years ago when OU went to Kansas, there's a man named Jason Bean, former North Texas guy, took him down to the wire, and he had a few touchdown passes, and he's a very mobile, athletic guy. He doesn't look too well in the option, but he can make some plays. He's got a cannon of an arm. He played Oklahoma pretty tough. Now, currently the over/under is 65.5. OU is favored by 9. What are your thoughts on this one, man?
Take care of business game.
Okay, well, no. You saw what happened last week. This is not a take care of business game. This is.
I mean, it kind of is, because if you think about it, the standard hasn't changed. It's Kansas football. Yes, they've gotten better. Leipold's turned that team around. They're now kind of a football school in a way. They've got guys. They got high IQ guys. They have more. Here's what I've noticed with Kansas football this season. Actually, the past few seasons, they have more formations and personnel packages in their offense than they do Big 12 championships in basketball.
That's fucking lot, dude. That's fucking lot. That is one thing that I was gonna mention. I'm glad you bring that up. Kansas, I feel like, has a new formation for every fucking play they run. It's insane, dude. And what it is, and it's not like it's new formations, it's variations of the same stuff they're giving you, but just to be confusing. And that's the thing, like you said, I love Lance Leipold. I think he's a great fucking coach. And he's certainly got a beautiful offensive mind. And it's like a weird Army offense, but obviously more versatile in the pass game. But they like to confuse you and have as many people touch the ball as possible. So they like their RPO stuff. They like the fake triple options. They like the little shovel passes and little drop back, almost option passes, where it's not necessarily an RPO, because the quarterback could definitely keep it and run, and he could definitely pitch it out, but he's going to run that and he's going to step back. You know what I mean? They have a lot of multiple tight end looks that they'll give you. The offensive line isn't amazing, but they're not bad, for what they are, for what Kansas can bring in. They're pretty good. Their running backs are fantastic. I'll say that.
Yeah.
The running backs are really good.
They're due.
They're a scarier version of what UCF gave us last week, even with Jason Bean and not Jalen Daniels.
Yeah. If you don't know what we're talking about when we say that Kansas kind of runs like an Army offense, go watch their game against BYU and you'll understand. They have literally everything that one of the naval academies would run. Kansas might be a branch of the military now with what their offense is running.
Yeah, well, they drop bombs like we did on fucking Iraq, so They can definitely go deep.
That's fucked up.
It was very fucked up, but that's okay. We got a few other wars to talk about since then, so we're fine.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on.
What are your thoughts on Kansas' defense, though?
It's all right, I guess. They looked good, in some parts. I remember watching the Kansas BYU game, and the very first play on defense was them basically just the backside pulls up, blows the guy up, and gets a scoop and score fumble. And I thought, okay, they're pretty fucking good. And then since then they've just been kind of average. But that's okay, because their offense is really good, so they can make up for it by scoring a bunch of points.
Yeah, it's what Lincoln Riley wants to be, right?
Linebackers are kind of weak.
Yeah, the middle, the front seven really isn't that good, but I think I don't think that's a testament to their coaching staff, because I think they've got a fantastic coaching staff. I think it's more so the fact that it's Kansas and they've been what they've been for so long that it takes a little while to get people to buy into that program.
Yeah.
And I think they're definitely doing a great job of turning it around. I mean, they've come so far since really that '07 season, right? Since since everything went downhill, they've never really been back to a team that's fighting for, you know, their championship or conference championship lives late in October and early November, but they've been a team that's been fighting for bowl contention in like mid October. Usually by mid October their season's kind of over with. You know what I mean?
That weird to think about. Like
It's
Kansas,
insane.
yeah, Kansas is kind of a tough team though.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, and they're really. I think it really comes down to their offense. So kind of like what you're saying is they throw so much at you. Like you can watch their tape over and over and over again, and it's still like you don't know what you're going to get
yeah,
because they'll run a lot of different stuff out of the same formations and the same variations, but they'll throw little tricks in there. But they don't run a whole lot of motion. One thing I did notice about Kansas is so most defense, especially BV, they like to see how the offense lines up and then check to their play, right? Kansas has a very good way at countering that. Have you noticed what they do?
yeah,
What Kansas will do is they'll stay in a tight huddle real close to the line of scrimmage, and then like 8 to 12 seconds left before the play clock's up, they'll get out of their huddle, get to the line of scrimmage, and go. So they like to stay in there. It drains the clock, so it keeps your offense off the field. And B, they just like to give you as little time as possible to be able to get into the right play, or the right run fit, or whatever you need to get into, which is very smart. And I just realized we started this about the defense and have gone way off track. I haven't even talked about their defense, but
well, no, we know what their defense is. It is what it is. Like it's honestly like a matchup of Oklahoma's defense versus Kansas's offense. Now, if
right.
Kansas is smart, what they'll do is they'll kind of mix it up because it's like you said, they have a lot of different variations with their offense and like personnel packages and formations and play calls. It's basically just like the whole kitchen sink. I don't know how they are able to memorize every single bit of their offense, but if they're smart, it's like you said, like when they come out of formation, they line up. It's kind of hard for you to be able to call your defense, like especially like with the Brent Venables defense, that's more of an attacking type of defense. If they're smart, what they'll do is they'll have some of those where they come out of the huddle and then they motion guys. So I feel like guys, it makes it hard for a defense to be able to like read that, and also with them having as much like like the mix of their offense, it makes it hard to kind of like steal their signals because you never know what they're going to get, what you're
Yeah,
going to,
no, for sure. And
you know what I mean?
you said what?
I said you can't really steal their signals, because they just have so much.
Yeah, you can get it all on film or whatever, and you still have no idea what they're going to throw at you.
Yeah. But I think it should be I think it should be I think if Oklahoma doesn't win by at least 17, then we got some concerns. You have to after that stinker that you let last week. I don't know.
Well, is it if Oklahoma doesn't win by 17, or is it if
they're off
because
score 38 points.
yeah, because with a defense like Kansas, especially, and I'm gonna say it again, and it's probably gonna bite me in the ass. We should be able to run the ball on them.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially if Tawi's back. They're weaker up front than they are in the secondary. Their secondary's not bad, but they're not amazing. But it's definitely the strongest part of their defense.
As much as I like Marcus Major for sticking around in the program, he doesn't see the open gap, the open hole. I don't know if he's ever like had sex in his life, but he just can't see the open hole. He's good out in space. Like if you throw him the ball like on a swing pass, he'll get you like 15 yards. It's remarkable what like I don't understand. Like there was a lot of plays that I saw at UCF where Marcus just wasn't. There were open gaps. He just wasn't fitting through them until the fourth quarter when he had like two really good runs, and it was like, where's that been all season? Do that again. I mean, unless he's like finally picked it up. If DeMarco goes with Major for the majority of the game, I expect to see at least like 80 yards rushing by him.
Yeah, I mean, you'd like to think so, and I certainly agree with you. Marcus is one of those guys you almost have to create space for because he won't take care of it himself. And
Yeah.
he doesn't have a good way of finding the space, especially when it's there. Because there have been some plays it's not there, and he just has to make of it what he can. But there's been a lot more, I feel like, where yes, our offensive line hasn't been that great, but there's been space there. There's been an option for him to be able to
even if it's just like very minuscule amount of space.
Well, that's what separates the good running backs or the great running backs from the good ones. Marcus is a good running back. I mean, he can block decently well. He's not amazing in pass pro. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can make guys miss, but you have to set that up for him. It's almost like as an offense, where usually you want to game plan for your defense, you almost have to game plan for Marcus.
Yeah.
To get him in those areas and to give him the ability to do so. But I think this should be a heavy DG run game. I think that'd be good. Maybe we should fucking run the sprint draw. Fucking think about that. But no, I expect to see. I think Tawi's supposed to be back this weekend, so I would love to see Tawi come back. I'd love to see a little bit more of Gavin Sawchuk. Maybe he can build some confidence from what he had going last week. Huh?
Maybe we see Javonte Barnes.
I don't think we're going to see Javonte again this season. Not in a major role.
You think
I don't know that he transfers. I'm not saying that. I just don't. They've talked about the mental block with him, and it doesn't even look like they've tried to get him in the game to try to get him touches. I just don't know what's going on with him. And I wish him the best. I love Javonte. I think he's a great running back when he's playing at his full potential. But he, A, hasn't shown that this season, and B, it seems like he's almost regressing.
Yeah. Maybe that's a sign of the running backs coach.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No, because Kennedy Brooks was amazing. Eric Gray was amazing. I think everything's there in terms of coaching, especially with DeMarco, because DeMarco, one of his greatest attributes, yes, he was a powerful runner. Yes, he was fast. Yes, he can make guys miss. But his vision and his ability to see the hole before it's there, like that has to rub off on the guys, you think? Unless he's just not a good coach. I don't think that's the thing. He's definitely a great fucking recruiter. But I think it's – also, I don't think we have the athletes right now that we really previously did.
What we do on defense?
Well, yeah, but in the running back room. Unless we're going to pull Utah and put, like, Billy Bowman back there.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be against Billy running the ball. Now, I don't want him on kickoff and getting blown up, but –
Why don't we just put Kobe McKenzie back there? He's like Derrick Henry, essentially.
Hey, as long as he can hold on to the football and make a couple guys – he don't even have to make guys miss. It's going to be – remember the episode of Family Guy where Peter played for, like, that – for the Patriots, and they had like 11 guys on him, and he's just fucking just.
Yeah, he was Tom Brady's best center.
Yeah, exactly. Even better than.
That's a guy I want to see a lot more of. Like we're gonna see a lot more R. Mason Thomas, which we should. He's our best pass rusher, so I want to see him. Nothing against like PJ or like Ethan Downs or any of those guys. He's just. I don't know, from like a pure pass rusher standpoint.
When healthy, he has the most tools over just because PJ hasn't got there. I think PJ's the most raw.
Oh yeah,
and the one that has the most ability. But currently, right now, when they're all 100%, all playing at their best, where they are now, I do agree. R. Mason Thomas is the best that we have.
Yeah, I want
to maybe Trace Ford.
Maybe Trace Ford. Yeah. This is the great thing about Venables' defense. We get to communicate this. Yes. Let's have a discussion. For the viewers out there, if you're an OU fan, who is OU's best pass rusher? And if it's Mason Thomas, then you're wrong. Anyways, I want to see a lot more of the linebackers. Like I want to see Kip Lewis. I want to see Kobe McKenzie because we know what we're going to get out of Danny Stutzman, Buckus Award winner in the future. We know what we're going to get out of Jaron Kanik. He's going to be the lead guy next year. He's going to be a lot. I mean, he's already good. He's probably the most athletic linebacker that we have other than Kip Lewis. But I want to see what the other guys can do. Maybe we can see Kobe McKenzie. Like, he's number 11. Maybe we can use him kind of like a Micah Parsons where he just rushes the passer.
Yeah, no, certainly. Now, one thing I do wish, speaking of rushing the passer, I wish we would have got David Igwebu a little bit more in rushing the passer. Have you seen what he's doing at Houston this year?
He's going crazy.
He's tearing it up, man. God, I wish we could have held on to him. But I'm glad to see him fucking rolling where he's at. But anyways, I do agree with you. I think if we treat this as a take care of business game, like you're saying, and if we use this as an opportunity to get right before not that you're supposed to get right against offense should against that defense, but the defense doesn't need to get right. Really, it's just the team as a whole, fixing a little bad discipline type mistakes and stuff like that. But if we get up on them, I'd love to see the guys come in and maybe some of our backups. I'd love to see Kobe McKenzie. I'd love to see Kip Lewis, maybe even Sammy Omasigo. and a couple of those guys.
I
But
don't think he's gonna play. I think he's gonna wait till next year. Like I think he's redshirting.
more than likely. But I mean, you get 4 games with the red shirt, so
Yeah.
yeah.
He'll be good.
But because you saw it a lot at the beginning of the season, right? I feel like our first like 3-4 games before we got into conference play, like they really treated like preseason games.
Yeah.
Like because you saw a lot of like Kobe McKenzie played a decent amount. Kip Lewis played a lot, which I do wish Kip Lewis would play more than just in goal line and as a gunner on teams. But
I think
um,
he's our playmaker at linebacker. Like he's always making plays.
yeah,
But Danny's kind of like the leader, even though he's not the Mike. He's definitely the leader, which is weird, like being the Sam and being the leader. But Jaren Canick's also just a like massive human.
he's a freak athlete, man.
But yeah, I mean,
Is it just me, or does Danny? I know he's a big dude. Like he's kind of built like a slim edge rusher. Danny is, but does he feel smaller than he really is to
no,
you?
he looks huge. I
He
saw him.
something. Maybe it's I don't know. I think it's just me.
I went to the SMU game and I saw him. Like I wasn't that far up in the stands. He's huge.
I
Him
mean, he's
and
6'4", 240. So
yeah, no, I mean like he's pretty built. So no,
he's a beautiful
he
man.
big dude. DeJoun Terry's probably the biggest dude on the field though.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's huge. And then on the offensive line, it's probably like Tyler Guyton. He's tall.
guy's a monster, man.
Yeah. But I expect it to be like a 30-17 game.
I can see that. I can see that. I like the line being at 9. I feel like that's a much better spot than 17 and a half. I think it lowers expectations a little bit more, but
I think
um,
6.5, honestly.
6.5, you said?
Yeah.
That's a good number. Because certainly, I mean, if Kansas gets going, like they could score with anybody.
Well, that's also like I'm sure. I feel like Brent Venables is the kind of guy that looks at the spread. Like I feel like he used to
Think so?
I think he used to dabble in his day. He used to gamble, and
Maybe,
so
maybe.
you'd see a 6.5, and you'd be like, no, fuck that. But at 9.5, it's kind of like, oh yeah, we'll probably win by a
Kick
touchdown.
last second field goal, backdoor cover, something like that. But no, I mean, what the fuck?
Well, I think the defense plays well as long as Brent Venables was the scout team quarterback this week.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
he was the scout team quarterback, then I expect this defense to only let up 17 points.
100%. Not even that. I don't even think they lit up 7 if that's the case. But I will go ahead. I'll throw my prediction out there on the game. Obviously, going to take OU to win. I'm going to take OU to cover. I think they'll probably win this game by. I think they'll win by at least 14.
I like it.
What do you think?
Well, what did I say? 30-17.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you're going with?
Yeah.
For sure.
I think I'm gonna have a heart attack if it was like last week. But that's okay. Those games, that's like a subtle reminder that hey, some teams are better than you think they are. Like Bama. You know what's crazy? So before we get, by the way, there's honestly some pretty good games this week.
Mm-hmm.
Oregon, Utah, USC, Cal. We'll get into those. But here's the thing with Bama. Like you just can't count Nick Saban out. I feel like he thrives more in seasons like this where like Bama kind of has like a down year where everybody's counting him out. Like I feel like he likes this more because then he can
Well,
just
look at like 2020 with Mac Jones. Everyone was like, "Oh, Bama will be good. They'll be, just like normal." But Mac Jones is going to lead them to a national championship game, no matter how many weapons he has. And then you're like, "Oh, fuck. Okay, well, he's got a Heisman Trophy winner, and Mac looked great in college." So, Saban, I would say more so than Bama, obviously, because he's the leader of that program. But no, they definitely do thrive off.
like a down year. Their down year, the floor for like a Nick Saban team is so much higher than most team ceilings. Like it's honestly incredible, like the consistency that he's had. Do you think he makes like a bunch of like burner accounts and just like messages like on Twitter, like, "Oh, Bama,
just
Bama,
bets the under.
yeah." He's like, "Bama sucks now. Bama stinks. Fade them. They're not going to be good this season," just so that he can get the reactions. And then
You think he gets Social Security?
I think so.
He's getting like $1,500 a month in Social Security. He's like, that helps. Oh shit, that was way off the rails. So we'll go ahead and we'll move on. How about the world's greatest tailgate or the world's biggest tailgate, whatever they call it? Georgia, Florida, Jacksonville. They're playing in Everbank Stadium in Jacksonville. Georgia currently favored by 14.5 on this fine Thursday evening. Florida quietly has rebounded. You know, they had the early loss to Utah. They lost another game in there, but beat Tennessee, and they've kind of just kept things going quietly. They're 3-1 in conference play. They're 5-2 overall, and you know this is Georgia's first game without Brock Bowers, and you know Carson Beck's been getting things rolling, but again, doesn't have Brock Bowers. You know, so
got Lad McConkey, man.
He does, and also if they score 0 points, they'll probably still fucking win because that defense is insane.
Yeah,
but
Kirby Smart and Georgia, they've separated themselves in my eyes. A lot of people probably have like Ohio State or Michigan over them in the AP poll. I still have Georgia number 1 just because they haven't been beaten yet. And Kirby Smart's, you know, he's feeding those boys steroids. So I'll take Georgia to kindly cover, even though they don't have
kindly cover.
I think they'll win by at least 17.
Okay. I certainly think this is a lot closer game, in my usually wrong opinion. I think, you know, Graham Mertz has quietly actually thrown the ball really well this year. I keep saying quietly because no one's talked about Florida. Like, no one has. And so, I mean, for all the right reasons, like they lost to Utah, and Utah kind of seemed dead to rights. Now they're kind of back. And then they just kind of like stumbled earlier in the season, but they've gotten their run game going, which again, Georgia better than most, but hasn't been themselves in defending the run. And Florida's defense has been fairly decent. You know, I think they can rely on the inexperience of Carson Beck and kind of maybe get to him a little bit, maybe get some pressure on him. And he doesn't have his safety valve in Brock Bowers. So, I mean, you never know. Games like this are really going to tell who's champions. I think it's closer. I think Florida covers, but ultimately I think Georgia wins this game by 1 possession.
Okay.
All right. You got any other thoughts on that game?
Honestly, not really.
Yeah. I think it'll be a fun one, but
that game is always fun. Like,
yeah.
At least like the past 5 years, and well, actually the past 2 years, it was. I don't think it was very fun for Florida, but it should be fun this year. I don't know. We'll see.
So.
You know, watch
what?
Utah, Oregon.
Dude, I can't wait.
It's gonna be a sneaky good game. I think Oregon wins, but you gotta put. Okay, so as far as like the top coaches in college football right now, you got Nick Saban and you got Kirby Smart. Who's number 3?
I think naturally people would lean Dabo, but I think that's kind of going away. Who is number 3? I mean, so I know where you're going with this. Kyle Whittingham is a fantastic coach. And he's been there for a while. And he's really just built a solid fucking program out at Utah. But I think he'd definitely be up there. I think he's up there, maybe in the top 5. I think you look at Ryan Day, Jim Harbaugh, James Franklin for that number 3 spot. Probably Ryan Day, in my opinion. I think Ryan Day is a fantastic coach. But no, Kyle Whittingham is fantastic. I mean, the culture alone that he has built out in Salt Lake City is second to none, right? Maybe Alabama, maybe Georgia, but outside of that, not a whole lot of programs that are humming at the pace that Utah is. And I mean, you can argue that like they're a top tier program in the country right now. Yeah, they're ranked 13. I don't know if they've ever won a national championship, but they're coming off back-to-back Pac-12 championships, and you know, I don't think they've had a losing season in like a decade or two. So like,
I'm pretty sure they did I think it was Kyle Whittingham's second season. They went 13-0.
Yeah,
I mean, they were in the national championship, but they should have been. But
well, I know they went undefeated when Alex Smith was there.
Yeah.
Not Kyle Rittenhouse. Jesus fucking Christ.
very, very good firearmsman.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he's got good aim. He's a good quarterback.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
But Kyle he's a good coach. He's never lost. He beat Saban.
Yeah.
He beat Saban, so there's that. He's got that under his belt. And I think he beat Jimbo too, if I'm not mistaken. But a lot of people are beating Jimbo now.
Yeah. He took over in 05. So it's the year after Urban Meyer left. Anyways, sorry. Go ahead.
Dude, they won last week with like a fourth string quarterback. It's kind of hard to do. I mean, yeah, it is USC's defense, but like that's the difference between like the culture that he's built in that program and what Lincoln Riley's built with USC. And Oregon's probably favored by a pretty good amount. Like what is what's the line? 8.5?
6.5.
6.5? Okay. Oh, it's a little lower than I thought. I mean, if Cam Rising was playing, that'd be kind of like that'd be a pick 'em, wouldn't it?
I think the fact that it's in Utah, if Cam Rising was playing, was 100%. I think Utah would be favored.
Yeah.
I think he makes that much of a difference.
Their running backs are really good. Their defense is physical. Very physical. They're a physical team. I think it's a much better game than expect.
No, I think it's going to be a fantastic game because I think strength on strength. You know what I mean? Oregon's got a fantastic defense that can light it up. They can score on it, or fantastic offense that can light it up. They can score on anybody. They also have a really good defense, And I think now the way I see this game going differently because I think Oregon covers. I think it's going to be a good game. I do think Oregon covers. Obviously, that's only winning by a touchdown. I just think. Yes, Utah won against USC last week, but it's also USC's defense. Like, there's Oregon's defense, like, way the fuck up here. And then there's, like, USC's defense, which is, like, I live on the third story. It's all the way downstairs. Like, they're not good. And so, obviously, you see them with a first-time starter, I believe, fourth-string quarterback, whatever, coming in and winning that game. They had a safety playing running back. They're just kind of having to put things together, and gimmicks like those don't work against top-tier defenses. And so I think Oregon's defense will likely shut them down. But I think Utah's defense has a really good opportunity to keep them in this game.
Yeah.
And that's where I think it stays closer. But I think it's just going to be a physical-on-physical matchup. I just think Oregon's Oregon's offense is just too powerful, and their defense is just good enough to really just stranglehold Utah into maybe like 10, 14 points or something like that.
What's your score prediction?
I'd probably take Oregon 31, Utah 17 or 14.
Oh.
31-14. Yeah. I think it starts really good. I just think Oregon just wears on them.
Like in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, I think they pull away in the fourth.
Okay.
Maybe a bit of turnover look or something like that. But, hey, I'd love to be wrong. Kyle Whittingham, if you're watching this for whatever fucking reason and you want to decide to make me look like an idiot, please, I would love to, after OU beats the shit out of Kansas, I would love to sit down with a couple brewskis in me. No, I ain't got nothing else to do but watch just fantastic football the rest of the day, and all my stresses are gone.
Well, what we're going to do is we're actually going to clip the part where you said that Oregon is just going to beat them down. We're going to clip that, and then we're going to send it to Utah so they can make a hype video afterwards.
Dude, fucking please. I'd love to be in a Utah hype video. Get us some fucking clicks, dog.
You click whore.
Yes. Yes, I fucking am.
I think this would be a good time to move into our new segment.
Yeah?
Yeah, our new segment. Right. Hot Spot, Dead Zone. Hot Spot's our winner. Dead Zone is our loser. So for my hot spot, I'm going to go with Ryan Day. Not just because he lost, or not just because like he beat, Danny Sussman. Not just because he beat Penn State, and he's kind of turned the program around to like he adjusted a lot in the program. Like the defense looks really good. The offense is going to start clicking. But
I still think that Jim Knowles' hire is one of the most underrated ones in the last couple years.
Yeah,
he's so good, dude. Oh my god,
keeping up with Oklahoma State. When Jim Knowles was there, their defense was always very tough, and they were very just schematically sound. But yeah, Ryan Day is my winner, not just because they beat Penn State and the way they've looked this season, but also because Michigan might be in a lot of trouble. So for those of you that don't know what's going on, if you haven't kept up, apparently there's a big controversy in Michigan right now. Apparently, Michigan has a guy on staff, Connor Stallions. He's getting paid like $55,000, and apparently he's been buying tickets to a bunch of different Big Ten games. I think like 30 tickets to like 11 different Big Ten games, and either he or someone he knows or is friends with, they've been sitting in the stands of different Big Ten games, high enough to where they can see the opposing sideline, and they've been videotaping it, and essentially they've been feeding the coaching staff in Michigan the signal, like the hand signals of the opposing teams in the Big Ten, or like he's been feeding it to the coaching staff like on the field. It honestly doesn't surprise me with the things we know about Jim Harbaugh, like in the past. But I mean, Ryan Day, right now you're looking a lot better when apparently this whole time Michigan's been stealing your signals.
Well, it didn't help them beat TCU.
No, it didn't. But I don't think they had.
So apparently, and I bring up the TCU thing.
There.
You said what?
They probably didn't think TCU was going to be there.
That's also true. I bring up the TCU thing because apparently this has been known for a while. The NCAA just hasn't launched a full-on investigation into it. Because TCU got wind of this going on last year, and they spent the last couple weeks before the playoff game changing all their shit. Yeah. Now, if you hear Brent Venables' Tuesday morning press conference, he acknowledged most teams, because of the sign stealing thing that's going on in college football, most teams change their signs, or most smart teams change their signs every week, which is so much information to learn, by the way.
Unless you're Mike Leach, because, Mike Leach, do you remember, like, the rivalry he had with Todd Graham, like, at Arizona State, where he was just actually throwing out the signals right in front of Todd Graham? Like, you can steal my signals, but you're not going to be able to stop me. And then they ended up. So, Mike Leach, GOAT. Anyways,
facts. By the way, they need to fix the fucking College Football Hall of Fame bullshit, having a win percentage of 60% at least. I don't know if they've done anything about that, but Mike Leach is a College Football Hall of Famer. You cannot tell the story of college football without Mike Leach in there. No way. No fucking way.
So, no, I agree. I think I've already put him in my Hall of Fame. I think the Pigskin podcast already has Mike Leach.
He's our first inductee of the Pigskin Podcast Hall of Fame. And surprisingly enough, it's not a Sooner. It's Mike Leach. Now number 2 is probably Baker. But number 1, Mike Leach. He was a Sooner. And, I mean, he's the reason Heupel came. So,
yeah.
Anyways, that way fucking off topic. Yeah, no, this whole Michigan thing it's been insane. And you heard Kirk Herbstreit talk about it. The NFL, they have the green dot guy, right? The green dot guy has the mic to the coach. That's why you see them going like this before every play, because they're getting the play call and then they're going to relay that to their team. Now, obviously, it's very different because in college football, a lot of teams don't huddle, and that's where they get those. But if you're not going to huddle, that's your fucking loss, right? OU doesn't huddle, so whatever, I understand. But that's why you see a lot of the coaches hold up or not coaches, but people on staff hold up the banners to cover the coach from people from the press box so they can't see what the signal is. But I think you got to allow at least either your mic linebacker or really it's usually the mic on defense, your green dot guy on defense, and then your quarterback to have a mic in there and be able to communicate with the coach until up to 15 seconds for the play, it's on the play clock. I think you have to allow that same rule that's in the NFL, and just because that helps limit those. That's why you see so many teams go with like the fucking 3 quarterbacks on the sideline all wearing different color wristbands, and so they're all throwing out different signals, and you got to figure out which one they're supposed to pay attention to all game. Or they hold up the fucking cards, and the cards have like 4 different symbols on there, and only one of them is supposed to pertain to something. Or, you know what I mean? Or you're supposed to only look for one player Perkard or whoever. Usually it's all backup quarterbacks. You never know. But I think that helps to limit this issue if you just put a mic in the headset or in the helmet for a couple green dot guys and it just makes things look so much smoother and it just makes things so much easier. So I think that college football just needs to just let it happen. It avoids scenarios like this because what Michigan is doing is cheating, right? It's cheating because in the rule book you can't go because you can scout all that stuff and you can learn that stuff week to week while watching film, but you can't have someone go to the games and physically record that stuff. So yes, it is cheating. But if you allow them to have the headset and the helmet, you can avoid that situation because every team, yes, while
message boards, like on the sports message boards for the Big Ten, if they would have found out about this and instead of trying to figure out like a different conspiracy as to why Michigan was so good, the NCAA wouldn't have taken this long to investigate it. You know what I think is gonna you know what I think? More than likely they're gonna open up an investigation and Jim Harbaugh they're gonna open up an investigation on Jim Harbaugh and they're gonna look into his computer, they're gonna hack into his computer and they're gonna look for like all his files and all of his Word documents, but actually everything is going to be kept on his Excel spreadsheet, keeps everything else. And so then, maybe they won't find it there. In a way, so, I've been saying I want Sean McVay to be the head coach of the Chicago Bears. It's a long shot. I know it's probably not going to happen, but I would love for it to happen. But the only other coach that I would really want for the Chicago Bears is Jim Harbaugh. So, like, if you're a Bears fan, you kind of hope that Jim Harbaugh had nothing to do with this, even though he probably did, but you can't tell yourself that. You have to tell yourself that Michigan, he had no idea. And this whole time, this guy from Michigan, I think Connor Stallions was just like a big Michigan fan. It's kind of cool how he got onto the staff in the first place. Like he went to the Naval Academy and then he just came and said, hey, I can be useful to you. I can figure out these guys' signals. And the coaching staff or Jim Harbaugh's like, no, you can't. You're not that good. And he's like, watch me. And this whole time he's just cheating. He's just cheating. He just figured.
Fucking imagine. You know how much money he probably spends?
How much? If you had to,
it's got to be ridiculous, right? Because college football tickets are so fucking expensive, dude. And the rumor is not only did he do that for all the Big Ten games, he was doing that for other teams that they could potentially play in the fucking playoffs.
Yeah.
Or in the postseason. Like he was sending people to like Alabama, Georgia, Michigan. Like, bro, that's so insane.
Yeah.
It had to be thousands of dollars.
Maybe he's just a big college football fan. Maybe he just likes going to the games.
Maybe he just wants to watch every game at the same time, but only specifically see the signal. Maybe he just loves American Sign Language, and he just wants to learn as much as he can about hand motion. Maybe he just loves hand drops.
You think so?
I think he's a wrist guy. I think that's where it comes in. Well, a wrist or a fingers.
I feel like you have to use more of your arm. Maybe that's what he's like trying to learn. He's like, well, what is the benefit of just using like my wrist rather than my arm?
I think so. I don't even think this is a scandal anymore at this point. I think we've debunked it. I think
it's just coincidence that they got the signals.
Yeah, it was just I think that's where Michigan was cheating, but I think they actually found his personal like fucking porno folder in his computer.
Here's what I think. I think he was just recording the game because he was really having a good time and he was showing like the coaching staff and he was like, look, I went to the Iowa game. And then they were just able to depict that he had the hands on the other sideline and they were like,
Maybe he just loves his friends and family to be super happy. And so he's like, you guys go to all these games and record it so I can show everyone. And he just wants to do that. So I think what he was doing, he was actually putting a massive PowerPoint together for all the coaches. And like, look at my mom and dad at Clemson. And look at my brother and sister-in-law at Ohio. And then look at and just naturally, it just happens.
You know what doesn't help that case?
What?
Is that there's also another story that came out that apparently he and some other guys that are also super Michigan fans have come out with like a big like 500-page manifesto.
Oh, dude, I saw that.
For the future of Michigan.
Maybe he's like the Hitler of the Big Ten. Like maybe that manifesto is like his Mein Kampf.
Man. I was actually going to get to that in my dead zone. I was going to go with the state of Michigan. for my dad because of the scandal. Allegedly, we can't say that it's national because it's a podcast. Allegedly, it's a scandal, but the scandal for Michigan, and then Michigan State putting up Hitler on their video board. The state of Michigan is not doing it right now, but I decided to go with daylight as my dead zone.
Okay.
Daylight savings is coming up, so make sure you turn your clocks back. It's going to get darker. This is around the time where it gets colder too, so good football weather. Actually, you know what I'm going to do for my loser? Lincoln Riley. That's okay. I take it back. Instead of it being daylight savings, my dead zone is going to be Lincoln Riley. Because that is another big thing. This college football this season has been awesome just because of all the drama and controversy happening. We've got Michigan. And then now, with the reports that he's been sick and that he hasn't been feeling well, he hasn't been going to his press conferences, and he also didn't let his players speak after the Utah game. I want to hear some accountability from Caleb Williams and like some players from the defense. Brent Venables did it last year when they lost to Texas 49-0. We want to hear some accountability. So, I'm going to go with Lincoln Riley. And
Lincoln Riley's a mark-ass bitch. So
apparently Cliff Kingsbury and Dennis Simmons were the ones running the practices, and they're trying to name Cliff Kingsbury as acting head coach while Lincoln Riley is ill. That does not mean that absolutely does not mean he's taking the LSU job.
No, he's not going to LSU.
Instead, he's going to the Rams, and the Rams are going to work out a deal with the Chicago Bears to send us Sean McVay. So it's a win, all in all.
So, by the way, I didn't want to touch on that. Lincoln Riley was back at practice today. He's being treated for a pneumonia.
Ooh. Yeah, I've had pneumonia before.
I think he just wants pneumonia of the USC football program. So I couldn't make anything of this with that. But
he wants to know of college football.
Yeah. So for my hotspot or my winner, NBA season just started. Not a big basketball guy, but hey, state of Oklahoma, I rock it like nothing else. Thunder fucking 1-0, baby. Beat the fucking Bulls 124-104. Shea looked amazing, 31 points. Giddey was dishing the ball, 16, 6, and 6. I believe we had 10 or plus points from Chet in his first NBA action. Rookie Cason Wallace went 5 for 5, 3 for 3 from the three-point line. Perfect game. Looked fucking great, man. The Thunder are going to be so fucking fun this year, dude. Oh, my God. It's fun because I'm not a big basketball guy. I think the NBA is like one of the worst professional sports just from how like fucking bitchy it is and how many like the players are all like flopping. And there's just so much like shittiness with the league. I just don't want to deal with it. Not that the league is shitty, but just the players are all like divas. Like John Morant's constantly getting in trouble. The players can just do whatever they want. They're sitting starters, like all that bullshit. The NBA is trying to fight it. But the NBA, as young as they are, they're 15 years this year. The NBA is a better product when the Oklahoma City Thunder have things rolling, and I think we're looking at a 3 or 4 seed in the playoffs this year. And I cannot fucking wait because I'm definitely going to some Thunder games this year.
Yeah, they look really good right now. To counteract on your diva take, I think we do need more divas, but not just in basketball, but in football because it makes things more interesting. Like when Stephon Diggs, like after the loss to the Patriots, like he didn't talk to the reporters. He just sat in his locker room and just just basically contemplated like his decisions.
Or like Jonathan Allen, where at the beginning of the season, he was like, yeah, I'm excited. We're going to get the place back. We're going to start getting right. And then now he's like, I'm sick of this shit. Since 7 fucking years of the same bullshit, and I'm fucking tired of it.
Yeah.
Love it, dude.
But there is a lot of divaness in basketball. But I think Oklahoma City's good. I think a lot of people have them on their radar. I would expect them to be like a 3 or 2 seed.
At least. I think that them. I think Denver still probably wins the finals. I think Denver probably takes the West.
One seed for sure.
You said what?
They'll still be 1.
Oh yeah. So. Did you see their rings, by the way?
Yeah, they're nice.
Those things look insane, dude. But for my dead zone, you could probably honestly say he's he may be a winner because he came back on what he said. This video is this is a bit old. It's really from last week, not necessarily this past week. Well, Colin Cowherd.
Oh,
Now you want to know? Did you hear about his little? Because obviously Colin had all the fucking. Now I hate Colin Cowherd. Most Oklahoma fans do. He's not. I don't think he's a great. Look, his whole thing, like Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless and all those guys, is to get clicks and to get views. And so they say outrageous shit that they may not even believe, and they just annoy the fuck out of you, right?
Yeah, we would never, ever.
We would never do that.
We would never do, even when we say that actually, Lincoln Riley is the devil, but we would never do that.
We would never say that Aaron Rodgers is the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Yeah. We would never say
that's actually true.
So. We would say that Tom Brady's actually overrated and a system quarterback.
See, exactly. We would never say that Tony Romo is one of the most underrated quarterbacks of all time.
That actually, I do actually.
Yeah, no, I do believe that is true. You say Tony Romo, and people are like, so, and me, even as a Packers fan, I hate Dallas with so much passion. But I think Tony Romo, I think if he has a lot less injuries, remember all the gay rumors that used to come out about him?
Yeah, wasn't he dating Jessica Simpson?
You said what?
He was dating Jessica Simpson.
Yeah, insane. It's so crazy.
He might have been gay. Was Tony Romo gay?
Might have been. We would never claim that Tony Romo was gay. All right, that's the kind of things we don't do on this podcast. But anyways, Colin Cowherd, obviously last year, he was in a slump for only, first winning season in the last 20 years. My entire life, they had never been as bad as they were last year. At their worst, they were like 8-5, like in 2014. Or really, I think we went 8-5.
Yeah.
Anyways, so he actually went back on his word and acknowledged the Sooners and the fact that they are trending in a better direction than USC is, and that Brent Venables is likely the guy, and that he's not sure what to think of Lincoln Riley. I have it as my dead zone or my loser because he still said it with that shitty fucking Colin Cowherd, like, oh, I was right, it just hasn't happened yet fucking tone. And it pisses me off.
Well, that's what they do in the media. They say in 10 years or 10 years, USC or this team is going to be in a better direction than this other team. But if Oklahoma wins the national championship, then there's going to be a lot of drama stirring in the media.
Yes, for sure. But yes, so let us know what you think of that. By the way, I think we're gonna try to start doing more things like that. Just touching on if you guys like it. If you all like it, we'll continue to talk about, and it's not necessarily going to be football related. Obviously, I just talked about basketball. This dork talked about the fucking sun. So that's actually
the future on the Suns.
The future on the Suns?
Yeah.
Ass. Anyways, coming from me, the not football guy. But again, let us know if you like that little bit. We might look to do more things like that, or if you have any suggestions, let us know down in the comments, and we'll definitely take them and run with them, and we'll go from there. But we did touch on that.
It doesn't matter. We're gonna do it anyway.
Oh, we're gonna do whatever the fuck we want. You can say whatever you want. We're not gonna stop. But so I think we're gonna move on from that. We are gonna touch on the NFL as well as giving out our dick pics for the weekend. Not giving them out. You gotta go to OnlyFans for that one. Yeah. But you gotta pay for those. But we are going to give you a free trial of our dick pics for every week. So we're gonna first just kind of do a quick breakdown and run through all the NFL games, spread over under, and then we'll come back and we'll give out our picks. So. Do you want to go ahead? Do you want to go over the games, or do you want me to?
Yeah, I can.
Go ahead.
All right. First game is New England at Miami. Miami's currently favored, -3. Over unders 47. And then we've got the Jets at the Giants. The Jets are currently favored by 3. Over under I've got for 37. And then I've got the Jags They're going to Pittsburgh. Jags are currently favored -2.5, over under 41.5. And then I've got the Falcons going to the Titans. Falcons are favored by 2.5, and the over under is 36.5. It's kind of low. And then I've got the Texans at the Panthers. Texans are favored by 3, over under 43.5. And then I've got the Rams at AT&T Stadium. They're taking on the Cowboys. Cowboys are currently favored by 6. Over under is 45.5. And then I've got the Vikings going to Green Bay. So Vikings versus the Packers at Lambeau. Actually, Minnesota's favored by 1.5, and the over under is 42.5. And then I've got the Saints at I've got the Saints going to Indianapolis. That one's a pick 'em. They're even according to Bovada, and the over under is 43.5. And then the last game in the early slate is the Eagles at the Commanders, and the Eagles are favored by 7. Over under is 43.5. There's a lot of early game. There's a lot of early games this week. Doesn't it feel like that?
Yeah, no, it certainly does. It is. Are there even any teams on a bye? I don't feel like it. I feel like this is the full weekend.
Yeah. I don't know. Are there any teams on the bye? Hey, what's the score in the game, by the way?
So Bucks have the ball, 1st and 10 from their own 4-yard line. 14 minutes left in the. Oh fuck! ESPN did a weird thing. That was the punt. That was weird. It looked like the Bucks had like 80 yards on that one play. They're down 24-10 right now.
Yeah. Thursday night, Josh Allen. Afternoon slate, we've got the Seahawks going to Cleveland. Seahawks are currently favored by 4. Over under is 38. And then we've got the Ravens at the Cardinals. The Ravens are currently favored by 9.5. The over under is 44.5. Then we got the Chiefs at the Broncos. Chiefs are favored by 7. Over under is 47.5. And then we've got the Bengals at the 49ers. San Francisco is actually favored in this game by 4. And over under is 44.5. And then we've got an awesome Sunday night game. The Bears are going to SoFi Stadium to take on the Chargers. The Chargers are favored by 8.5. Over under 47. And then the Monday night slate, or the Monday night game on ESPN, is the Raiders at the Lions. Lions are favored by 8, looking to make a bounce back after last week. And then the over under is 46.5. I'll let you make the first pick.
So, just want to point out the fact, very pissed. I left Chris Godwin and Dalton Kincaid on my bench in fantasy, and they have a combined 40 points. So, that's lovely. First pick, I'm going to take Dallas to cover with the Rams coming to town. I looked at the spreads and everything through ESPN. I believe they get theirs off Caesar Sportsbook. But I'm going to take Dallas -6 this Sunday. What do you think? What's your next one? Or your first?
Why did you leave Chris Godwin and Dalton Kincaid on your bench?
I forgot to touch my fucking fantasy roster this week, dude.
It's Thursday night football. It's like prime football. It literally, it's on Prime Video.
Okay, can I switch up my dead zone this week? I think it's me.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do the same thing for my dead zone. That was a bad.
I also got a 60 on my stats exam the other day, so.
Oof. Okay, yeah, you're definitely in the dead zone this week. We got to get you in there. Maybe one.
Not happening.
You know what? I'm going to take Detroit to cover.
Okay, -8?
Yep.
Gotcha. All right, well, my next one, and I'm going to keep doing it every fucking week. So the Minnesota Vikings are coming to Green Bay. Currently favored by 1.5. Matt LaFleur. I'm looking at you, bro. What the fuck is this play calling, man? You're going to get it right this weekend. We always play the Vikings good at home. We suck in whatever stupid name they have for their stadium. But Packers get right this weekend. They get their third win on the year, bump the Vikings, or the Dykings. Sorry, I was wrong. The Dykings back down to last place in the NFC North. And Green Bay Packers, I'm taking them to win this week.
Kirk Cousins, he's been cooking, though. They let Kirk cook, and he's looked good the past couple of weeks. So
yeah, well, he's about to pull a Lincoln Riley special and burn the shit out the brisket this weekend. Packers are going to win. Also, it's going to be a sloppy game weather-wise. I think looking at it, 38 degrees and rain/snow. Kind of one of that stupid sleety shit we get in Oklahoma. So, yeah, I think the Packers are going to they won't even be in last. Oh, yeah, they would. If your shitty Bears win this week, they'd be in last. But anyways, that's besides the point. Yes, the Packers, I'm taking them to win this weekend.
Okay. That was very mean, by the way. That was one of the more mean things you said about the Bears. Just the infliction.
I don't know, man. I've put a lot out there. Like, you remember my mean fucking... It didn't even hit, bro. It's a little fucking insert. We send each other, like, when we do, like, our random prize picks and shit, we usually send them to each other. And I threw one out there a few weeks ago. I think it was Thursday night. And I just picked fucking Justin Fields to throw an interception. And he was like, that's just fucking mean. And then he didn't, bro, and threw, like, fucking 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's what you get.
I still think he'll throw an interception this weekend. He's not even playing.
Hashtag Matt Leinart karma.
Fuck you. Don't compare me to him.
I'm going to take the over in the Eagles game.
Fuck you. I was going to bet that game. You said you had Fins -3?
That's what was on the...
On Bovada?
Yeah.
Fuck, I might go there. But because on ESPN through Caesar Sportsbook, it has them -9.5, and I was still going to take them to cover. So I'm taking the Fins -9.5.
I mean, Bovada may have just fucked up.
Potentially.
Okay, no, now Bovada's saying 9.5.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's 9.5. Sorry. Fade me.
Okay.
I'm in the dead zone now.
I mean, I'm still gonna take the over in that game. The over might hit, but I'm still gonna take the Fins to cover that one. So
I am gonna take. This is a weird one, but is Kyler Murray back?
I don't think so.
No. Okay. I am gonna take Cincinnati +4.
Okay. Going to San Francisco. You think they're gonna?
Yeah, and I'm gonna take the under in that game.
Okay. So, I can see that. Is Brock Purdy playing?
No, it's gonna be Sam Darnold.
Oh, that's right. Fuck, I'd take the Bengals to win outright in that one, to be fucking honest with you. Now I did have the Eagles covering, but you already took the over in that game, so I don't want to double down in the same game. Ravens -9.5 against the Arizona Cardinals.
You asshole! That was mine. That was mine.
I'm gonna take that. Yeah, I'm gonna take. That's two covers. I'm taking at -9.5, man.
I was gonna take that one. Okay.
Gotcha.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna be that guy that just makes the dumbest pick. Because what if I wake up and just fucking win it all? I'm gonna take Denver to cover.
So I did have a move on that game. But with you taking Denver to cover, because I was taking Kansas City to cover. But
you can take Kansas City to cover. That's fine.
No. I got another game I'm keeping my eye on. Browns are going to Seattle. The over-under is currently 38. Seattle's favored by 4. This is my last pick. I'm gonna take Seattle to cover, and I'm gonna take the over to hit.
Yes. Yes, the over. I was hoping you would pick the over.
38 for the over on that game, bro. It's ridiculous.
Well, both defenses are good.
Both defenses are good, but I think Cleveland showed an ability to really run the ball.
Yeah.
So
Geno Smith might be back.
that is true. I don't know. He ain't got no one breaking his fucking jaw with their fist. What's your last pick for this weekend?
I gotta write my picks down real quick.
Let's see. Oh shit. That was mean. I apologize. My boys.
Yeah. Fucking dick. Over.
By the way, I just want to throw this out there. You can keep writing your things down. If these picks miss, we don't fucking. I mean, we care. We don't lose our money, but I know no one has yet. Don't come back and start making fun of us, okay? We don't give a fuck about your opinion. My wallet might, but the credit union might, but we don't care. At least I don't care. I don't know what he does. He's a stinky Bears fan, so he might care, but I don't.
See, and Baltimore was. I had to write something else because I had Baltimore to cover, and now I can't use that.
I better not just be riding the fucking Baltimore train while they're hot and then get kicked in the fucking balls like that one dude from this past weekend at UFC 294.
And under. I'm gonna take the Jags. I'm gonna take the Jags Pittsburgh over.
At 41?
Yeah.
Damn. I'd pick the Jags to cover in that game. -2.5.
No, I'm feeling frisky.
Okay. All right. That's the beautiful thing about football. You should always expect the unexpected because the craziest shit happens in the sport.
The can't lose pick in this one is the over in the Eagles game. That the past 4 games have been high scoring. 43.5. That will.
Think so?
Yeah, that's my can't lose pick.
Gotcha.
Already got 5 picks. You know what? I'm going to take Houston to cover.
-3? I like it. I like Houston this year, man. I mean, they're not going to make the playoffs or really blow anyone away, but I think they're setting up for a real special run here in the next couple of years. Much like Jacksonville, I think C.J. Stroud is legit. Will Anderson and that defense are going to be pretty good under D'Amico Ryans. And dude, I think you're going to see some big things out of Houston here pretty soon, like bigger and better than when they had Deshaun. Pre-massage.
No, because they're bigger.
Except my wiener, that says the same. Anyways, that was a horrible way to end this. I might. Fuck it. We're gonna leave it in, man. We don't give a fuck about this. We do. We want it to be good. We want you guys to be happy, but we're having fun. So, yeah. I mean, you got anything else to touch on? Do you want to talk about the Bears at all? And your thoughts on this weekend? I mean, fuck the Chargers -8.5, dude. Tyson Bagent. I mean, he didn't look bad. He looked pretty fucking good this past weekend.
I think that's fair. A lot of the whatever you call it, the media, the line, the spread adjusters, whatever you want to call them, they probably haven't paid too much attention to Chicago this year just because they're not very good. I wouldn't be surprised if Chicago covered though. I get it. It's the Chargers and Justin Herbert, but the Chargers are dead. They've always been dead. They're dead to me because of last week. They should have hit the over and they didn't. So I'm a Phillip Rivers guy, not a Justin Herbert guy. So I'm thinking it's going to be a pretty good game. I hope it is, because I think Chicago. The last time I watched Chicago play the Chargers, Chicago won, and that was when they had Jay Cutler, and it was against my guy Phillip Rivers. But I wouldn't be surprised if Justin Herbert just laid like 45 points on us. Because that.
I think the Chargers have a real issue, and I think their issue is Brandon Staley. I've said that multiple times. I've been thinking that for a couple years. I think it's time for them to move on from him.
Well, guess what? Their issue before him was Anthony Lynn and the
That is
coach.
true.
It's
That is
the
true.
Chargers.
Lincoln Riley?
That doesn't fit what I want. I want him to go to the Rams so we can get Sean McVay.
It's not going to happen.
Let us know what you think.
Imagine, bro, I would actually jump out this fucking window head first. Watch like the Packers fire Matt LaFleur and then like, we're getting Lincoln Riley. I'd fucking quit, bro. You know how fucking mad I'd be? Oh my God.
I kind of want that to happen.
I'm sure you fucking do. Oh my God, dude. Oh God. You know how quick I would jump ship and just be a Bucks fan? That would be my apocalypse moment. I would leave the Grinning Gold fan base.
Well,
I'd leave all my memories there. I'd cherish the times we had, all the lost fucking NFC Championship games that we had, and I would just jump ship. I'd probably be one of those weird. I shouldn't say weirdos. Damn it! Now I said it. I got a bunch of friends that are like that. I'd probably be one of those people that just likes all the OU players and just roots for them, which isn't weird. I mean, I do that anyways, but I just don't have a team. No one to root for. Oh God, I'd fucking be so pissed. Why did I do that to myself, bro? I'm gonna have like a nightmare tonight, and it's gonna be that.
So I think they do fire Matt LaFleur, and I do think Lincoln Riley becomes the new head coach because I'm a sicko, and I just feed off of your sadness when the Packers are just in shambles.
You're
just
also clinically insane, so.
Like you feed off of my distraught every season when the Bears suck. This is just how it goes. Bears-Packers rivalry has never been better than this podcast.
Imagine like the Packers get Lincoln Riley and then the Bears are like, you know what? Brian Kelly. I'd be like, son of a bitch.
I might hate that worse than Lincoln Riley. You didn't even ask me my thoughts because more than likely that's what's going to happen. Like if Lincoln Riley's going to jet for the NFL, it's probably going to be the Bears. Chicago, big media. He's been to Chicago before. He probably likes it. But you didn't even ask me my thoughts.
What do you think about that?
I feel like I'd be conflicted. I don't know. It's not like when he went from Oklahoma to USC, like he's going to the NFL. Like whenever a coach jumps ship to like another college team, like if it's from like one college team to another, like college fans go insane. They're like, ha, like that's what you get. Like they mock them.
What's funny is it's usually a step up. I still think it's hilarious. Lincoln went backwards.
Yeah. Well, not in his mind, but.
Well, not money wise, but.
Yeah, the money
if we're honest, he went backwards.
The money is fantastic. What he's getting.
Still can't buy a good brisket.
Yeah. But I don't know. Because, I mean, if Lincoln Riley leaves and goes to the Bears, then I don't know how I would feel about that. I don't really have an opinion because, like, the Bears just stink anyways. And there's just no hope unless Sean McVay is the new head coach or Jim Harbaugh. I don't think Jim Harbaugh did anything wrong. I have to tell myself that just in case Sean McVay doesn't come and he's the new head coach.
Yeah, is that where you're at this point?
Yeah. But with Lincoln Riley coming to the Bears, I don't think I'd be mad. I mean, because we'd probably draft Caleb Williams. He doesn't get a say in the defense. Ryan Poles does. Ryan is the guy that's like, I'm going to hire the defensive coordinator and make the draft picks. Ryan Poles, if you do decide to hire Lincoln Riley as a head coach, I just want to let you know now, whatever defensive player he wants, pick the exact opposite. And then you'll have a stud defense.
What if he wants like Danny Stunsman or Billy Bowman?
He's not going to want those guys.
No, he's not.
He was mad at them for not coming to USC, so he's going to say, go ahead and take a guy, get my guy from USC, and he's going to be like, no, I'm going to go ahead and draft Danny Stutsman, which we don't even need linebackers right now. Our linebackers are good.
Y'all linebackers are actually pretty nice. I'm not going to lie. They're pretty good. But
well, here's my perfect scenario. Whatever the new head coach is going to be, if Matt Eberflus stays or if we get Lincoln Riley or whoever it's going to be, really the only thing Chicago needs are like edge rushers. So maybe we can get Myles Garrett and, Max Crosby or TJ Watt, just sign them. And then boom.
You know who I want back in Green Bay?
Is it Darius Smith?
No. No, fuck no. God.
Oh,
I
why not?
want Micah Hyde back, man.
Yeah.
I miss having Micah Hyde. You don't understand how much it pains me to watch Bills games and just see Micah Hyde like just make plays.
What about Clay Matthews
If he's on steroids,
or AJ Hawk?
I'd love AJ Hawk. Prime AJ Hawk is low key one of the best linebackers in football, bro. Insane. He was so insane.
Him and Clay Matthews together, yeah, that was.
Oh, that team was so fucking good, bro. Oh man, you just give me happiness flashbacks, dude. But
Here's my thoughts. Whoever becomes the new head coach, just please let it be like an offensive guy. Because in college football, the defensive guys are usually the ones that are winning the championships. But in the NFL, it's changed. Andy Reid, Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, like all those guys are winning. Bruce Arians won a Super Bowl.
Bruce Arians race.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, those are my thoughts. I hope it's a good game in Saturday in Lawrence.
I think it will be. I think.
And by a good game, I mean like 38-17.
Yeah, like not a good, entertaining game for like normal people, but like a good game for Sooners fans. We need no stress after this past week, and then going into Bedlam next weekend, which that's going to be a fun pot to break down. That's going to be a fun one to break down.
Oh yeah.
God damn it! If this game's at 11 a.m., I work.
I think they'll do a night game. They have to.
They usually do. That's the thing.
If it's in Stillwater, it should be a night game. Last Bedlam.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll get.
They
there.
should be 6-2 by the time it rolls around. So, but yeah, you got any other thoughts on this upcoming weekend?
I don't, man. I don't. Do you?
No, I just hope it's a fun one. I don't got to work. Don't have a whole lot of homework, so I'll get stuff knocked out, and I'll just be able to just relax. We also got the Tyson Fury Francis Ngannou fight this weekend.
Yeah.
Which is going to be pretty sick. There's a UFC fight night, which if you just have ESPN Plus, you're able to watch. But that Ngannou Tyson Fury fight, it's boxing. It's not MMA. It's boxing, obviously. So that'll be fun to watch. I will pay for it. I will not illegally stream it via streameast.io. Okay, I am not about that. We would never illegally pirate UFC or boxing pay-per-view events.
For the viewers out there, or for the few viewers out there that are listening to this podcast, if you were willing to get hired by us to go and maybe videotape the game, just to maybe steal some hand signals or
maybe I don't know how you get hand signals out of boxing, but I'm sure you figure it out.
Or maybe we can hire you to help Dalton pass his test.
Okay, it was one no, I'm gonna fail MIS on Monday. That's for damn fucking sure. But yeah, no, I think this is a wonderful edition of the Pigskin Podcast. Again, this is episode 7. Let us know what you think down in the comments. If you have any thoughts or you just want to call us a fucking idiot, just comment, man. We need more interactions on the videos. Like and subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Share it with your friends. We don't have any friends. Put it on. Tell Nana that she's watching soaps and just put it on TV and turn her hearing aids down. She won't know what's going on, dude. Just let Nana watch it on repeat so we keep getting the views. You know, we need all of what we can get. But
yeah, we're totally, not like Colin Coward, but
not at all. All old ladies love me. I don't love them back because that's nasty, but I love them for the ladies they are. Okay, not like that, you nasty bastards. So, all right, well. With all of that awfulness there at the end being said, this has been episode 7 of the Pigskin Podcast. Let's have a great fucking weekend, guys. Let's do it.